All right, guys, so today what we're going to be doing is we're going to be drawing trapezoids. And a trapezoid is a four-sided figure, and they want us to draw a trapezoid, but follow these directions. It does say that we want to use parallel lines to draw the trapezoid with the following, okay? Parallel lines mean that they are lines that kind of go straight and they are never going to intersect, okay? That's what a parallel line is. And so we're gonna be making some trapezoids following these directions, okay? This first one says a trapezoid with no right angles. And if you know, a right angle is basically a sharp corner like this, that when I were to measure it with a device that we can use to measure our degrees, that we would not make it 90 degrees. So it can be greater than 90 degrees, it can be less than 90 degrees. So what I'm going to start off doing, and I'm actually going to use some rulers to do this. Sorry guys, I have to grab one real quick. And so when I do this, what I'm gonna do is I'm actually going to make a line at the top, and I'm gonna make a line down at the bottom, but I'm gonna make it bigger because I wanna make sure that as I'm drawing this, that my angles are not going to be the straight corner. So I'm going to make a line here, okay? I can erase some of these lines, so don't worry, it's not anything that has to be perfect or anything. And then I'm going to actually draw right here, okay? And so if I were to look at this, none of these angles right here are anything that is going to be that 90 degrees, okay? They can be bigger, they can be smaller, but they cannot be 90 degrees, okay? This next one, it says that I only want one obtuse angle. So when I have an obtuse angle, that means that they want it to be greater than that 90 degrees. And I think that might be a little bit off, that it wants to almost be a little bit open like that, but I can only have one of those. So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna go ahead and draw my parallel lines, okay? Because I know that I've gotta make those parallel lines. And the thing is I only wanna have one obtuse angle. So that means my other angles can be bigger, it could be smaller. So I'm actually going to make this one kind of straight so that it is at a 90-degree angle, and that's completely fine. And then what I want to do here is I'm actually going to make it like this. And then here is a trapezoid, and it's not going to look completely pretty or anything, and it's not going to look like what you would normally see a trapezoid of. But if I look here, I know that this is pretty close to a 90-degree angle. This is close to a 90-degree angle. This one is a pretty large angle. It's not going to be that 90 degrees. It's going to be greater than 90. And then this angle is a smaller angle, so that's probably going to be what we call an acute angle, okay? So this one, it says that now I need to have two obtuse angles. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and I am going to draw my parallel lines. Okay, and what I wanna do, and I'm gonna kind of actually do this upside down, is that I want to make two obtuse angles. So here's one obtuse angle. That's a pretty big angle if you can kind of notice that. Okay, and then I'm going to do the same thing on this side, where again, I have a pretty big angle here. Okay, pretty big angle right here, a pretty big angle right here. Okay, that honestly, guys, is probably the best way to look at this is like when it's upside down. You can see that the angle's big here, you can see the angle is big there. Okay. This next one is going to be at least one right angle. So that means I need to have at least one of these. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna draw a line here. And I'm actually just gonna draw a straight up and down line, because then I know right here, here is my 90-degree angle, okay? Remember, I do have to have a parallel line. So what I'm going to do actually, and I can make this a little bit different, is I can draw here and then take a look at this. Here could be my parallel lines, okay? So remember, if I were to continue drawing these lines, eventually those lines will intersect and be perpendicular. Sorry, you can't see it. Those lines will intersect and be perpendicular, but I know these lines going up and down are never going to intersect, and that is one of the rules with a trapezoid, is that you do have to have at least one set of parallel lines. On this one, it says at least one right angle, so it's okay that I actually have two because it didn't use that word only, so I'm able to have those two right angles.